The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. So today we are going to plant some trees. The other day, Ian surprised me. He brought home 13 fruit trees for us. A whole range of different varieties, different types of fruit. So today we are getting out here and we are going to get them planted into the ground.
This guy digs.
Ian pre-dug the holes, but before we got the trees into the ground, we wanted to make sure we got some compost to add into the holes. So this morning, Ian went and picked up a yard of compost to help us give a little bit of nutrients because our soil isn't super great. Give those trees a good chance to get established for the coming winter. It's actually a pretty good time to be transplanting trees. September, the weather's still nice, but it's not hot, so it's not as much of a shock for the trees getting into the ground and they can get established nicely.
Are you filming me? Are you filming me?
What are you doing up there, Bo? You have to get your paws dirty.
We're putting bone meal in the bottom of every hole so that our trees will grow nice and healthy. Some young blood.
Who's that hottie with a naughty body?
I got it from my daddy.
So what's next?
I don't know. Apples or pears?
Pears.
Let's do Asian pear next. Here's our Asian pear. Are we all driving together?
You having fun in there, Sam? What do you got? Safety glasses?
Most of the trees that we got are in these cardboard pots, so we can actually plant the trees in the pots without having to take them off. These are all grafted trees, so when we were picking them, one of the things that I was looking at to choose which of the trees I wanted was how nice the graft was. These were on blowout because it's the end of the season, so there wasn't a lot of selection, so some of these are less than ideal, but yeah, you want to make sure your graft is as straight as possible when you're picking out a fruit tree.
Bo, what do you have? You have a dragonfly?
I'm gonna go move the wheelbarrow down.
Film all the action. What about your brother? Film your brother.
You saw your dog?
Okay, film daddy. Oh, we're driving over stuff. I don't know what that is. Okay, that's all we're going. Good work. Excuse me, didn't we ask you to get back to work? Come on, we need this tractor moved quickly. Bo. Oh, always running away from your problems. So our hose stopped short by 15, 30, by 60 feet. Do you think we can still get watered with this hose 60 feet away?
Okay, now say.
You have to stand back. Contents under pressure. That's at least 50 feet.
Well, he wasn't quite successful. He didn't get the 60 feet, but it is getting 50.
Okay, come on, we gotta go get this one back here. Oh, don't get mommy. Here, Sam. You gotta hold, you gotta spray the tree. Spray the tree.
So what did we plant here? I'm gonna give you guys a quick tour of the different varieties of trees that we planted in. This is a black amber plum. It's a super dark, juicy plum, and I'm really excited for it to start to produce. We planted the plums first in line because we actually currently have a plum right here, but it really didn't produce anything this year. Plums need a friend. They're not self-fertile. They need a other tree to help them pollinate. So I'm hoping that getting a couple new plums in here will do the trick to be able to get our full-size tree to actually start producing next year. These plums that I planted are Asian plums, and I don't actually know the variety of my current plum. If it's an Asian plum, hopefully it'll start producing next year, but if not, I also want to plant a prune plum in, which is an American plum, which would then pollinate my older, more established tree. This here is a yellow Shiro plum. I've had this plum before and it's super delicious. It's really juicy. Well, it still has that kind of tart skin, but you bite into it and it's like it explodes plum into your mouth. This plum here is a Brook gold plum. It is a golden plum that has some red blush features on it. These two trees here, these ones are nectarines. They weren't actually tagged when we bought them. They were the only two nectarines that they had at the nursery. So we don't know exactly what the varieties are, but the worker at the nursery said that they were two different varieties. They weren't the same one. So that will be a fun surprise for later. Nectarine is my favorite fruit, so I'm excited to get some of those in the coming year. This is an Asian pear, 20th century oriental pear. And, it's something that's a little bit different. I've eaten Asian pears before, though they're not something that I buy all the time. To me, they remind me of a cross kind of between an apple and a pear. So it'll be fun to have something, a little exotic on the farm. This is an Anjou pear. I really love pears. I find that them dried is one of my favorite fruits, and they're enjoyable because you can eat them both fresh and like when they're firm and like ripened and soft. So you can get a variety of things out of a pear, as well as do pear sauce. This variety here is a Flemish beauty pear. So even though we only have a couple pairs here to start because they didn't have a lot of variety of different pears at the nursery, our plan is to put in a lot more pears in the future. Pears and apples are one of those fruits that, you know, if we can't eat them fresh or, you know, share them and sell them, we can preserve them really easily. So that is something that we're looking forward to in the future when they start to produce a stupid amount of food. This here is an ambrosia apple. This is Ian's absolute favorite variety of apple. So he was super excited to see that they had one of those at the nursery. And this is a honey crisp. I was excited about this one because this tree is massive. It's a really good sized tree for starting with. Hopefully it's not going to have any issues with transplanting shock. Sometimes the littler trees take to transplanting better. And then finally, this is a sunrise apple. Nice little one. We also picked up 2 other varieties of collymole apples. So they grow different than what you're kind of used to thinking of an apple tree as. They kind of just are this straight stick that has fruit. They don't do a lot of off branching. So because of that, we're not actually planting those down here in our kind of, you know, orchard border. Those we're going to plant up closer to the house. They're actually a really good variety for if you're doing like a small backyard orchard, because you're going to get the apples, but it's not going to need this massive space. So it'll be fun to have those getting incorporated into, you know, our main kind of family garden. So if you want to see if all of our fruit trees survive, if we actually get some success out of them, make sure to subscribe. We will be doing lots of updates. We're super excited right now for what spring is going to mean for both our farm and our channel. You know, right now we're doing the work. We're building the infrastructure, and we're hoping in the next couple of years we're going to start to see it come to fruition, and we're excited to share it with you guys too. So I'll see you next time.